What's up everyone, welcome back to Miami Miles. My name's Mickey. As you guys know, a couple weeks ago I picked up my dream car, the 991.2 GT3 Touring. I have been in heaven. It's been the best holiday romance I've ever experienced in my entire life. But, as you guys know, all good things must come to an end. A couple days ago, I get this letter in the mail. Maserati Capital USA. You know what that means, guys? The bill is in. Time to give up the moolah, baby. I don't know if you guys have ever bought a dream car, but when you do, you just show up at the dealership, you give them your money, you're like, give me the car, get out of here. You don't really care what the terms of the agreement are. You don't care what you have to put down. If you have the money and you want the car, everything else is irrelevant. And that's exactly what my experience was purchasing the 991.2 GT3 Touring. But now, I've got to pay the bill. And it's really interesting because the bill is more than I remember it being. I was like, oh, it's going to be this much, and now it turns out it's this much. Well, in this video, we're going to talk finance terms. We're going to talk the amount of months I financed the car, the payment I'll be paying. Anyways, let's get right into it. So guys, as you know, the market right now is absolutely inflated. Every car is up 15 to 20%, especially cars like the 991.2 GT3 Touring, which is limited in its supply. You have way more people that want them than cars that exist. So the values keep going up and up and up. And as you guys know, I overpaid for this car. I ended up paying, after taxes, $238,457.
You're probably like, oh my god, Mickey, that is so much for a 991.2 GT3 Touring. What are you doing?
Yes, Johnny, you're right. Look, that car sticker is $169,000 and I paid almost $240,000. That's a delta of almost $70,000, which is stupid to even comprehend and think about, isn't it? But the bottom line is I wanted to get out of my McLaren, which was crashed, and get into a car that I could actually daily drive and enjoy on a more frequent basis. So, what were the financial terms of this $238,000 agreement? Well, let's get into those. First and foremost, I wanted to put down 70 grand, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put down 70 grand, everything's gonna be cool. They're not even gonna notice that the tires in my McLaren are gone. But you know what they did? They're smarter than me. They took the car up on a lift, the McLaren that is, and they looked at the tires, and first thing they noticed is that the tires were destroyed. Because you guys know how I drove, right? That car's tires were almost to the mesh. They were that bad. So they ended up doing an adjustment and charging me an additional $2,500. So I had to put down out of pocket $72,500, which is a tremendous amount of money for a car, especially considering that you could buy a property with that much down, right? But the bottom line is I put that much down, and then they put a couple different fees. I ended up adding $1,288.99 in fees to the total, and then I end up financing $170,845. So right around the car sticker is what I end up financing, literally $1,000 off. Now, what are the terms of this financing? Great, it's 72 months, so I'm gonna have 72 payments, right? At 4.49%. Now, I'm sure I could have done much better on the interest rate considering that my credit's tier 1. I'm over 770, at least I was when I got this car. Nonetheless, the payment ends up being, after that interest rate, $2,713.56, 2713.56. That is a stupid amount of money for a car, isn't it? I mean, especially considering that I was paying about $1,900 for my McLaren. Now I'm going to be paying almost $800 to $900 more if my math serves me correctly. So it's $2,713.56. So essentially, I put down the value of a C6 ZR1, and now I'm paying what I was paying for the McLaren. So essentially, I could have had a ZR1 and the McLaren. Did I make the right investment, guys? Well, in my opinion, I think I did, because I found an automobile that I'm going to keep forever. I found a car that is going to stick with my family and be handed down generation after generation after generation. That is until I go buy the next supercar and they tell me I can't keep both because I can't afford them, you know, because of the underwriter. But we'll see what happens when the time comes. The bottom line is that if I'm able to, I will keep the GT3 Touring forever. I think that car is going to be a classic. It's not going to be quite up there like the 911R, right? Because there were 911 911Rs, And of these, there's about 517 in North America. I imagine worldwide the supply is about 1,500. So it's not a totally limited car, but nonetheless, it's the first Touring ever made. And it is, in my opinion, way more special, way better looking than a 992. That may be controversial to some because you're like,
oh yeah, Mickey, you don't have the 992. Of course you think yours is better.
guys, it's not that. The 992 comes with a PDK, right? The whole purpose of a Touring is to have a manual gearbox, not to have a PDK. Now that the 992 has a PDK, that means that many more people are going to option the Touring package and pay that stupid dollar over premium, and there's going to end up being probably 2 to 3 times as many 992 Tourings as there were 991.2 Tourings. So all in all, even though I'm paying over $2,700, I think that I made a great investment because emotionally I feel extremely happy. Nonetheless, if you guys are gonna buy a Touring, right, and you currently don't have any sports cars, what I would do is I would wait, right? Obviously, if you have a sports car, that means that your current sports car has probably risen in value, but if you have nothing, why don't you wait until the economy comes down, until supply issues are corrected with this computer chip issue going on because of the embargo with China? Why don't you wait until that's over, the supply of vehicles goes up, the price will thus come down, and you should be able to get into one of these Tourings at 190, 200 grand. So anyways, those are just my 2 cents. That's what I pay for the car. I'm happy to pay it. I'm in love with the car. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed that video, give me a big thumbs up down below. And if you enjoy the channel, because I keep popping out content for the GT3 and the 765 and other cars, give me a big subscribe. Anyways, guys, I hope that you have an amazing day. Take care.